You're rushing again, walking fast, empty stomach, mind spinning, afraid you won't keep up. But what is it that you're chasing? Where is it that you're going? You justify sacrificing peace, presence, joy, sleep to get ahead, to be seen, to be the first, to earn a little more. You don't waste your evenings, the 5 to 9 after 9 to 5, side hustling and optimizing every minute, even replacing time with your loved ones to impress those who you don't know at all. Because this was the blueprint to success handed down to you. You feel the urge to check off all the things on the list. In your 20s, graduate, pick a career, have a partner. In your 30s, buy a house, have kids, travel. And in your 40s, afford yourself a comfortable life. But after all of this, when you finally get there, what is actually waiting for you? And was it worth the sacrifice? I came across this concept of falling behind a few years ago, and it perfectly captured everything I had been feeling. The reason I felt the need to hustle and rush through life. But no matter how hard I tried, I always felt like I was not living up to my fullest potential and always exhausted from trying. Eventually, I realized that it wasn't me. It was the goalpost that kept moving, and I saw the illusion of it all. Without stopping to realize where we're actually headed, I think we could spend our entire lives trying, only to miss out on what's really important. Maybe that's by design. Well, as someone who has always fell behind in life, I can assure you that there is no such thing, because none of us are meant to go the same way.
When I first graduated college, people would ask me, what's next for you? And when I got my first big job, career job, people would then ask me, what's your next plan? And now that I'm doing YouTube, people will often ask me, what are you gonna do when nobody watches your videos anymore? As if I always need to be 2 steps ahead of the game. Maybe I'm just naive, but I don't have some grand plan after this. And I actually feel like for the first time in my life, I'm really enjoying being where I am and just really enjoying my day-to-day life. I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy running my own business. And I'm just thinking to myself, is that not enough? And I don't blame people for asking this. You know, sometimes they're just trying to make conversation and it's a societal norm, so I get it. But it took me a really long time to realize that it's up to me to know my own pace, to know what matters to me, and to live my life accordingly. Another question that I get asked a lot as a 34-year-old woman is, when are you going to have children? And for a long time, I felt really guilty because by societal norms, I should know by now. My biological clock is ticking. But more and more I realized that I didn't have the clarity to answer that question because there was so much chaos around me and so much inner work that I had to do to even get to that headspace. Depending on your upbringing, your past, your life situation, or your current life trajectory, it might not be such an easy question to answer, and certainly not an easy decision. So I think that we should stop judging other people and definitely stop judging ourselves for that. Only in the last couple of years, I feel like I'm able to really slow down, look at the part of myself that's been neglected over the many, many years of just being really busy. And I don't want to rush that. You know, I feel like none of us can really rush that process. And for now, I don't know, is a sufficient answer.
I want to thank my paid partner for today's video, BetterHelp. Like I said, sometimes we cannot escape the societal pressure to be more social, active, set more goals, and just be out there. I know as an introvert and a homebody, this can trigger a lot of anxiety and feel like we're missing out. It's actually something I discuss with my therapist very often, and it's helpful to be able to talk about it and gain some clarity around where this feeling is actually coming from. BetterHelp is easy to start. Just fill out a questionnaire and they'll connect you with a credentialed therapist as soon as possible. You can easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost if it's not the right fit, and their customer support team is there to help if you have any questions. You can try BetterHelp for yourself, click the link in the description, or go to betterhelp.com sophie.malamalife to get a 10% off of your first month of therapy. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for being a paid partner for today's video.
There's this amazing YouTube video of Nina Simone singing To Love Somebody. And I think in one of the first comments, it says, do yourself a favor, find someplace quiet, listen to this again, then go find the Janis Joplin's version, then go listen to the Bee Gees version. Don't compare, sit back and appreciate the power of music. And I don't know what it is about that comment, but it really stuck with me all throughout the years. This is such a metaphor for life. We're all singing the same song in a sense, but our own versions of it. Definitely go watch the video after this, but Nina Simone, she just hits your soul so deeply. And Janis Joplin, so emotional and powerful. It is just impossible to compare the two. And I just wish that we could appreciate each other in the same way. Instead of always trying to measure up to each other or trying to see who's ahead, who's my competition. Maybe then we wouldn't feel so much pressure to just become a mold of somebody else and feel free to be ourselves. The labels, the rankings, the numbers, the award for the first whatever. I don't want that to be the motive behind anything that I do. It is a really fragile position to be in because it can be taken away from you at any point. And then what? What becomes our purpose then? And not saying that these achievements aren't great. Definitely not undermining the dedication and the hard work. I just don't agree with glamorizing only those things that can be measured. If winning meant having the most money, power, or influence, then certainly the celebrities or the billionaires would be the winners. But we know that's not true. We know that it doesn't always equate to happiness. They say it, we can see it. And so shouldn't that be a signal to us that that's not really the thing that we should be striving for? In fact, chasing someone else's version of success, especially material success, often leaves us feeling empty and disconnected. It leads to more compulsive spending and it just becomes this never-ending cycle. I was sunbathing the other day and an older gentleman came up to me. My Portuguese is very limited, but we were able to somewhat communicate and he wanted to fish right next to where I was. So I asked him if it was okay for me to film him. The waves were crazy that day, the sun was shining really bright, and we just patiently waited together in silence. And I don't know how much time had passed, but when we finally caught that fish, we celebrated together as if we had known each other for years. And it just made me think how these small moments are everything in life and how I really want to be present for all of these unexpected gems that life throws at us. I'm definitely not saying that we shouldn't have any ambition in life. But I am saying that maybe it's not okay as a society to burn out all the time and to just fuel up on caffeine and consumerism to cope and always trying to outdo each other. I feel like now more than ever, in a world where everything's changing so quickly, we definitely have to rethink what success means to us. This is what my whole channel is about because I am so passionate about it. It really changed my life, living a minimalist life, living a low maintenance lifestyle, and just appreciating the day to day instead of seeing life as this big one competitive race. So I hope that this video gave you something to think about today.
To those late bloomers who feel like their time has just begun. To the people who had to grow up faster than their peers. To the creatives who always marched to the beat of their own unique drums. And to every single one of us who had to start over again many times and now just want to enjoy this life without counting, measuring, rushing through it all. If I could be of any assurance to you, I promise you are exactly where you are meant to be. And no matter how fast you go, I truly believe that you will always end up exactly where you should be. So I hope that you're present for it, all of it. I hope you stop often and just let your inner child play. Take time off to enjoy the sunshine. Find people who not only understand you, but also want to slow down with you to enjoy it all. And I hope that you never, ever let the fear of falling behind dampen your spirit or curiosity. Life goes by so quickly anyways. Why rush through it all?